Friends, welcome back and happy No More Beethoven year. It's been exactly 52 weeks since I started this series to celebrate the 250th anniversary of Beethoven's birth in 2020. I must say it's been quite an effort to make a weekly video for you, but with your support and especially with your donations, I almost made it in 2020 to make 52 episodes. I skipped 3 because I needed a little Christmas break, a little New Year's break. But now we're back, and 3 is the magical number for this episode because Beethoven doesn't use 1, doesn't use 2, but 3 soloists for his Triple Concerto. Triple concerto, that's a pretty rare thing, a concerto for 3 soloists and orchestra. In the Romantic tradition, not many of those concertos are written, perhaps because you're not exactly a soloist anymore if you play with 2 other soloists, are you? Anyways, Beethoven does it masterfully and he combines 2 art forms, the piano trio and the solo concerto. It's a wonderful collaboration between a violinist, a cellist and a pianist who on the one hand work together and on the other hand fight for the spotlight. They imitate each other, they finish each other's sentences or pass a nice musical assist for the other to score points with. And the orchestra tries to keep the peace. Beethoven wrote the Triple Concerto in 1803 and according to his biographer Anton Schindler, he wrote it for the Archduke Rudolf of Austria. Thanks to Beethoven's lessons, the Archduke became quite an accomplished pianist and composer himself, but he was only a teenager when Beethoven wrote the Triple Concerto. And although accomplished as a pianist, I think Beethoven thought that the Archduke wasn't good enough to pull off a solo concerto all by himself. So it was a smart move to write a concerto not only for 1 soloist, but for 3. In this way, he could write a relatively easy piano part to be performed by the Archduke and a much more complicated, much more virtuoso part for the violinist and the cellist to be performed by professional, grown-up musicians. It is not considered to be Beethoven's greatest works, let's be honest, but it surely has its originalities and specialties. To me, the second movement is particularly beautiful, like so many slow movements by Beethoven. But the third movement is called a rondo alla polacca, and polacca is Italian for polonaise. That's a dance we all know and we all wish to perform again, I guess. But originally it's a Polish dance, polonaise, and it was made famous as a classical music art form by Frédéric Chopin later in the 19th century. But Beethoven already likes the energy and the character of that dance, and he would write several movements in the style of a polonaise and also a solo piano piece, Polonaise, which I recorded as episode 14 of this series. It's not sure, and it's even quite probable, that the Archduke never ever performed the Triple Concerto. Perhaps it was still too difficult for him to play on the piano. But we do know that he made his debut as a composer, with 40 variations on a theme by his master Ludwig van Beethoven. Well, nice try, but the Archduke wasn't really a genius. He would be a one-day fly as a composer. Now that's it for episode 50, with which we're getting closer to the end of this Beethoven series. Many of you have already shown their appreciation for my work by making a donation via Tiki or PayPal. Thank you very much for it, because it really means a lot. These are very hard times for an artist, for a pianist, for a YouTuber to be. So it really helps. If you haven't contributed yet and you want to do so, you will find the link below to Tiki or PayPal. Thanks a lot. Keep going, and see you next week.